Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special live coverage of the visit of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mishal Ahmed Al Jabr Al Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him, to Scotland in the United Kingdom at the invitation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And I'm your host for tonight, Ahmed Tamimi. Now, tonight we'll delve into the significance of this historic event and its potential impact on the Kuwaiti-British relations. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mishal Ahmed Al Jabr Al Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him, visits the UK at the invitation of His Majesty King Charles III, showcasing the strong bilateral relations between the two countries. This visit comes amid continued efforts to bolster ties as the exceptional relations between the two nations have flourished over more than a century and branched out to include all fields. Here is some on this in the following report.
His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mishal Ahmed Al Jabr Al Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him, departs the state of Kuwait with his accompanying official delegation heading to the United Kingdom at the invitation of His Majesty King Charles III, showcasing the importance of the bilateral relations between the two countries. Kuwaiti-British relations have developed over the years after having been founded 125 years ago, in the light of a high-level agreements, initiatives, and visits aiming at promoting strategic bonds between both countries. The beginning of diplomatic relations between Kuwait and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland began with Sheikh Mubarak al-Kabir signing the 1899 Anglo-Kuwaiti Agreement. Throughout those decades, cooperation and strategic partnership took place. British merchants established their offices in Kuwait, while British oil companies contributed to oil discovery in Kuwait. The exceptional relation between the two nations have thrived for more than a century and branched out to include various fields, including trade and investment, defense, cybersecurity, education, culture, and international development. These relations were established through mutual solidarity and continuing cooperation. Both nations are committed to addressing global challenges such as climate change and regional security. With a foundation built on trust, shared values, and common goals, the future of Kuwaiti-British relationship will prosper.
In support of the Kuwaiti-British relations and strategic partnership, His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mishal Ahmed Al Jabr Al Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him, visits Scotland in the United Kingdom in response to a private invitation from His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, to our live coverage. Joining us tonight in the studio, a renowned political analyst and columnist, Dr. Khalid Al-Janfawi, who will guide us through the significance of this visit and its potential impact on the Kuwaiti-British relations and the region. Thank you, Dr. Khalid, for being with us tonight. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Khalid, from a geopolitical perspective, what does His Highness the Emir's visit to the United Kingdom signifies for the Kuwaiti foreign policy and its position on the global stage?
I think His Highness's visit to the UK is really very important historically because we need to look at it from a geopolitical perspective. Kuwait continues to play an important role in the region. The United Kingdom has very strong and very solid relations with our country. that spanned more than 125 years. And I think if there is any political investment for both countries is to strengthen the relations between them for the sake of maintaining regional peace, for the sake of maintaining even the peace in our Gulf region. In addition to this, because of the geopolitical and strategic position of Kuwait itself, Kuwait continues to be one of the closest allies to the United Kingdom. This relationship started from the 19th century to the current day, and it continues to prosper, and both countries I think share so many mutual interests. They cooperated for more than 70 years or so after the independence of Kuwait. So I think the visit is really very historical and very important, and it's very important because it will strengthen Kuwait's strategic position in the region, and also it will underline the strong ties between the two countries.
Yes. Dr. Khalid, like you mentioned, this relationship expands to more than a century. To be exact, it's more than 125 years. Yes. Now, how would you assess the historical evolution of this relationship between the state of Kuwait and the UK? And in your own point of view, how has this relationship adapted throughout the years?
Well, I think this relationship that spanned almost like 125 years went through so many different developmental stages. Historically, Kuwait was the first country in the region to sign security agreements with the United Kingdom. In addition to this, throughout history, our late Amir Sheikh Ahmed Al-Jabr Ahmed Al-Sabah was the first Kuwaiti official to visit the United Kingdom back in 1919 to congratulate King George V on the winning of the First World War. Later, when he became the Emir of Kuwait in 1935, he also visited the United Kingdom, and throughout the 30s and 40s and 50s, the diplomatic ties have strengthened due to the increasing common interests among the two countries. In addition to this, I think the current visit of His Highness the Emir to the United Kingdom represents a celebration of this very long historical relationship. So eventually I think we will realize that the United Kingdom and Kuwait represent one of the most successful relations between countries throughout history, I think. And of course we understand that the United Kingdom has also very strong relations with the rest of the Gulf countries, but the relationship with Kuwait is very unique because it spanned more than 125 years.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Khalid, in your own opinion, given the ongoing situation in the Middle East, what role does the state of Kuwait plays in regional stability? And how does the UK view Kuwait's role in this regard?
I think the United Kingdom realizes and have realized for many years the important role that Kuwait played in maintaining peace and security in the Gulf region. In addition to this, the United Kingdom understands and realizes that Kuwait, because of its strategic position and because of its diplomatic heritage in maintaining peace in the Middle East, will always play an important role in the region. And I think this important role of Kuwait will improve and will be strengthened by the strengthening of the relations between the UK and Kuwait.
Yes. Dr. Khalid, we're going to go into more details regarding the Kuwaiti-British relationship throughout the years. But first, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. As part of the Kuwait-British strategic relationship, defense cooperation were established with agreements including defense equipment, joint military exercises, as well as cybersecurity initiatives. Britain's steadfast commitment to Kuwait's sovereignty during the Gulf War and subsequent defense pacts underscores its role as a reliable security partner. More details on that in the following report.
Collaboration forms the backbone of Kuwait-UK strategic relations, underscoring their shared commitment to regional stability and global security. Over decades, the two nations have established a robust framework of agreements and initiatives, ensuring mutual benefits and reinforcing their alliance. The foundation of defense cooperation between Kuwait and the UK can be traced back to the historic Anglo-Kuwait Agreement of 1899, which provided British protection to Kuwait during a period of regional instability. This agreement marked the beginning of a long-standing security partnership, which has evolved over time. The UK's decisive role during the Gulf War of 1990-1991 further cemented its status as a trusted ally. Post-war, both nations expanded their collaboration through defense pacts, joint training programs, and military aid agreements. Kuwait and the UK maintain regular high-level defense consultation, which facilitate the exchange of intelligence and strategic insights. These discussions are essential for aligning their defense strategies and addressing emerging threats such as terrorism, cyber attacks, and regional conflicts. In recent years, Kuwait and the UK have entered into agreements aimed to protecting critical infrastructure and ensuring their resilience of their digital networks. Collaborative efforts in the domain include knowledge sharing, joint research projects, and the development of advanced cyber defense mechanisms. These agreements are rooted in a mutual trust and a recognition of the strategic importance of their alliance.
In support of the Kuwaiti-British relations and strategic partnership, His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him, visit Scotland in the United Kingdom in response to a private invitation from His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with our live coverage of His Highness the Emir, may Allah protect and bless him, visit to Scotland in the United Kingdom, and with our dear guest here in the studio, Dr. Khalid Al-Jimfawi. Dr. Khalid, in recent years, the UK has pursued a global Britain foreign policy. How do you see Kuwait fitting into this vision, and what benefits does this bring to both countries in terms of trade, defense, and diplomacy?
Well, the concept of global Britain refers to the new political strategy that the British government adopted a few years ago. And it basically refers to the need of Britain to be more open economically. The global Britain is also a concept that refers to the reinvesting in British relations with other countries. It also refers to the strengthening of the maritime, if you like, role of the United Kingdom in the region and also around the world. And I think one of the important partners to the UK in this global vision of the UK is Kuwait, because Kuwait historically has invested so much in the British economy. In addition to this, I think the economic cooperation between the two countries will witness more improvements and developments, because I think the Kuwaiti economy needs to have stronger relations with the UK, because immediately after the Brexit, or immediately after the end of the, if you like, economic relations between the UK and the European Union, the British economy became more appealing, I think, to foreign investments. And this idea of global Britain is a new opportunity for Kuwait itself to reinvest, if you like, in its its historical relation with the United Kingdom. And I think in the next few years we will witness cooperation on all different fronts, specifically in the economy, because you know, the United Kingdom represents one of the most powerful industrial nations around the world. And I think we in Kuwait also have a great understanding of the successful kind of investments that we can use in other, if you like, in different economies. So ultimately, the idea of global Britain is basically an open invitation to the allies of Britain to reinvest, if you like, in the British economy, and also to extend a helping hand to help allies in the region to strengthen their security position. The United Kingdom continues to be a global power, a global military power, and I think we in Kuwait understand that we have really a very unique relationship with the UK, and hopefully in the next few years we will witness more improvements in security agreements and also in economic development.
Yes. Dr. Khalid, as we all are witnessing, climate change has been the center focus in many summits and gatherings. Now, with the growing international attention on climate change and the sustainable development, do you anticipate the discussions around these issues during the visit of His Highness the Emir with His Majesty? And how could the UK and Kuwait collaborate in addressing these global challenges?
I think the idea of using renewable energy in Kuwait is a sign that Kuwait will invest more in such kind of energy. The United Kingdom has great experience in such matters. The United Kingdom also is very successful in its investment in renewable energy. Kuwait understands, for example, I think that in the next few years we need to rely more on renewable natural, if you like, energies rather than heavily rely on oil. And all these issues, of course, come within the context of fighting, if you like, pollution in the environment, and fighting the climate change in the world. And I think Britain itself has really very important experience in dealing with the climate issue, and specifically in our region in the Gulf, because of the impact of the climate change in our region. I think we will need to, if you like, invest more in and use basically the United Kingdom experience in such an issue, the issue of renewable energy, and also in fighting, if you like, climate change. Kuwait has contributed for so many years toward this issue. Kuwait invested so much, if you like, effort in order to fight climate change. In Kuwait itself, Kuwait economy is basically currently transforming toward a more sustainable and renewable energy, which is basically what other, if you like, countries in Europe, specifically the UK, is gearing toward. So I think fighting climate change will be an important item on the agenda in the meeting between His Highness the Emir and His Highness King Charles.
Yes, indeed, Dr. Khalid. If we shift to a different topic, what role do you think the state of Kuwait can play in bridging the gap between the Western powers and the broader Arab alliances, especially in light of shifting global alliances and new geopolitical challenges?
I think the United Kingdom will rely heavily on Kuwait in dealing with the security issues in the Middle East region, because I think the United Kingdom understands that Kuwait, being a historical ally to Britain and also an important country in the Gulf region, and a country that has, if you like, really a diplomatic heritage in dealing with conflicts and helping solve, if you like, regional issues. Kuwait will always be an effective partner to the United Kingdom in dealing with the rest of the Arab world. In other words, the United Kingdom understands that the Kuwait's strategic position, Kuwait's very peaceful coexistence with the rest of the countries in the region, Kuwait's contributions historically to solving issues, say in Lebanon or Syria or in Iraq, will advance, if you like, the British perspective of global Britain. Britain aims within this concept of global Britain to be more open, to reinvest in its relations with the countries in the Middle East, and then I think Kuwait will play a significant role in achieving that vision.
Yes, Dr. Khalid, if I may, we're going to take a short break and we're going to continue our discussions with you here in the studio. Please stay tuned. Up next, we're going to explore the success of the Kuwaiti students in the United Kingdom, highlighting their academic achievements and their role as cultural ambassadors for the state of Kuwait. Abdurrahman Al-Mhanna has more details on that in the following report.
Kuwaiti students in the United Kingdom are a source of pride, representing Kuwait on an international stage. Each year, thousands of students travel to the UK to study at some of the world's best universities, such as Oxford, Cambridge, and Imperial College London. These universities are known for their high academic standards and the opportunities they provide for students to excel in their careers. In addition to their studies, Kuwaiti students are active in promoting their culture abroad. Events like cultural exhibitions and traditional Kuwaiti markets organized by students showcase the richness of Kuwait's heritage. These activities also help build bridges of understanding between Kuwait and the UK. Organizations such as the Kuwait Cultural Office in London provide vital support to these students, helping them succeed academically and adapt to life abroad. This support is key to ensuring their studies are a positive experience. Kuwaiti students in the UK are more than just learners. They are ambassadors for their country. Their achievements and contributions highlight the strong ties between Kuwait and the United Kingdom and set a shining example of the importance of education and cultural exchange.
And in relation to that, let's welcome independent researcher and lecturer, Mr. Stuart Lang, who was also a former British ambassador to the state of Kuwait and former master of Corpus Christi College in Cambridge University, who is joining us via phone call. Good evening, Mr. Lang. How might this visit impact trade, and how important are educational and cultural exchanges between the state of Kuwait and the United Kingdom?
Hello and greetings. Greetings to all our friends in Kuwait, all our listeners, and all the people for whom we had the pleasure to know when we lived in Kuwait. Kuwait has this great advantage in terms of solar energy, and Scotland has a long experience of using the reserves of energy in the North Sea, and converting them from oil and gas into energy that we can use for other purposes. As I say, in the past we've really been using these almost entirely for burning, for producing energy for our transport and for generating electricity. But in the future we're going to be using these hydrocarbons for different purposes. And this is where technology comes in, where the knowledge of technology in Scotland, as in other parts of the United Kingdom, will enable us to use these hydrocarbons to greater effect. And education is another area where I think there's great scope for collaboration between our two countries. Scotland has a long tradition of giving high attention to good education, and a number of Kuwaitis I know have benefited from this in the past. I was fortunate when I was ambassador in Kuwait to know a number of people who'd done their higher studies in Scotland and benefited greatly from that. So I hope that this tradition will continue and will become a custom for Kuwaitis to use the greater universities of Scotland, especially in Glasgow, Edinburgh and Aberdeen and in other locations, to advance their education. And these exchanges, the exchanges in education and culture, are very significant and have been for some time. I'm thinking in particular of the work that's been done by the Dar Athar al-Islamiyya in Kuwait under the leadership of Her Highness Sheikh al-Hussa, and what wonderful things have been done in terms of cultural exchange in that context, but also by other institutions, both in our country and in yours. And so I do very much hope that these can be enhanced and developed in the future. So it's a wonderful time to be looking at the foundations that we have built in the past, and also to look to the great advances that we can make in the future by collaboration amongst our two countries. This is an area where we can make 2 and 2 make not 4 but 5 by the advantages that we can use through collaboration between us. So I look forward to a great era of cooperation between Scotland in particular and the United Kingdom in general and Kuwait. And I think that there's a lot to look forward to and a lot that we can achieve together.
We highly appreciate your input on that, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Stuart Lang, independent researcher and lecturer and former British ambassador to the state of Kuwait. Now we're going to take a short break, and we will continue our discussion here in the studio with Dr. Khalid Al-Janfawi. Please stay tuned. Kuwait and King Charles III's Foundation have signed a groundbreaking agreement to blend Scottish and Kuwaiti cultures through a unique tartan and horticulture initiatives. More details on that in the following report with Nasser Al-Husainan.
Kuwait and the King's Foundation, established by King Charles III in 1986, have signed an agreement to create an official tartan blending Scottish and Kuwaiti textile traditions. The design will be registered in Scotland's official tartan registry in the coming months. The agreement also includes developing 2 horticultural installations at Highgrove House, the private residence of King Charles III. These installations will educate visitors and foster knowledge exchange between British and Kuwaiti horticulturalists. A 3-year horticultural exchange program will also be launched, focusing on sustainable practices, food security, and climate adaptation. The initiative underscores the historic relationship between Kuwait and the UK, promoting cultural exchange and collaboration beyond traditional political and economic ties.
As we continue our discussions here with Dr. Khalid Al-Jamfawi tonight, our political analyst and columnist, providing us with final insights into His Highness the Emir's visit to the United Kingdom. Now, Dr. Khalid, looking ahead, what are the long-term implications of this visit to Kuwait's foreign policy, particularly in terms of its diplomatic, economic, and security relations with the United Kingdom and other European countries?
I think the impact of the visit will be noticed in the next few years, because within the context of changing global alliances, if you like, Kuwait's investment in its relation with the United Kingdom will guarantee the security of Kuwait and also the security of the rest of the Gulf region. In addition to this, I think the United Kingdom approach within its global Britain perspective is to reinvest its military and its political and its diplomatic relations between with the countries in the Gulf region, because most of the countries in the Gulf region are historical allies of the United Kingdom. But as we mentioned earlier, yet the relationship between Kuwait and the United Kingdom is very unique, not because of the common interests in politics and in geopolitics, but also in the common interest in solving conflicts in the region. We mentioned earlier too that Kuwait plays an important role in establishing peace in the Middle East region, and the United Kingdom is one of the most important global powers that have played a historical role in the shaping, if you like, of the Middle East history. So, within this changing global environment, changing alliances, I think the visit represents a reaffirmation of this historical relation with the United Kingdom. The global powers, usually when they change, if you like, their allies, they would change according to their economic interests. But the relation between Kuwait and the UK, spanning more than 125 years, are based today on solid foundations, because this solid foundation have been established on common interests and also mutual respect between the two governments, the British government and the Kuwaiti government, and also a historical understanding of the development of this relationship since the 19th century. So I think the UK realizes that Kuwait will always be the most important Middle Eastern ally to the United Kingdom. And I think the impact, the geopolitical impact of this visit will be seen in the next few months or maybe years, and maybe the strengthening of military cooperation between Kuwait and the United Kingdom. It will be seen in the development of economic projects in Kuwait with the aid and with the cooperation of the British government and British business, and also we'll witness also perhaps a cultural and educational cooperation between the two countries. The United Kingdom has already contributed significantly to the development of Kuwaiti education throughout history, and I think in the current visit will re-establish this educational, if you like, achievement. It will strengthen bilateral relations, and it will also support Kuwait's role in maintaining peace in the Gulf region. Today we witness a bloody conflict in the Middle East, the conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians or Hamas, and I think Kuwait will play an important role in maintaining or achieving peace in the region through cooperating with the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom seeks always to achieve peaceful solutions or peaceful resolutions, if you like, to ongoing conflicts in the Middle East, and I think Kuwait will have an important role to play within this context.
Yes. Dr. Khalid, what else do you think could be on the agenda of their meeting? Besides, we mentioned earlier, climate change could be one of the main topics, yes, one of the important topics which are going on around the world and affecting many different areas and regions. What other areas do you anticipate that could be on the agenda of their meeting?
Well, I think maybe the strengthening of military cooperation between the United Kingdom and Kuwait, because what we witness today in our region, we witness really a very, if you like, fast, a very unpredictable changes in the political map of the region. In other words, immediately after if you like, what happened in Syria recently, and within the context of the worsening, if you like, conflict between Israel and Iran, I think we will see a more or closer, if you like, military cooperation between Kuwait and the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom has always been the, if you like, the most important ally of Kuwait. And Kuwait realizes that it needs British support economically, it needs British support politically, it needs British support, if you like, in areas of education, in areas of agriculture, in the area of renewable energy and the investment in solar energy, and also in developing our local economy to if you like, compete with the changing, if you like, Gulf economies. In other words, what we witness in Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates or in Qatar, we see these Gulf economies gearing toward, if you like, information industry. So maybe the information industry business will be one of the items on the agenda in the meeting between their highnesses. So I think we should be very optimistic about this visit, because in addition to strengthening British and Kuwaiti historical ties, it will also open up, if you like, new economic investments in our economy. It will also provide Britain with Kuwaiti investment, and Kuwait has always considered the United Kingdom as, if you like, the ultimate and the most important economic partner historically. So maybe this economic issue will be really an important item on the agenda of the meeting. In addition to this, of course, as we mentioned earlier, the tackling climate change dealing with the issues or the impact of climate change, especially in our region, because our region invests heavily in the oil industry, and yet we need to understand that what is happening around us is really an important transformation in how people use energy and how people or how countries use natural resources. So maybe using or and British experience in renewable energy and solar energy will open up new opportunities for our country to invest more in such if you like, projects. In addition to this, of course, one can understand that the historical ties between the United Kingdom and Kuwait have always been based on mutual respect, and every Kuwaiti will always remember the important role that the United Kingdom played during the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, the historical, the diplomatic, and the political, and even the public support of in the UK for the Kuwaiti cause during that dark era, if you like, in our history, will always be remembered and appreciated by all Kuwaitis. And I think one of the messages His Highness will deliver to His Highness King Charles is the appreciation of the Kuwaiti people, of the historical role and important role our great ally, the United Kingdom, played throughout history.
Yes, Dr. Khalid, you mentioned earlier about enhancing the economic cooperation between the two countries and also increasing the investment opportunities between them. Now, how do you see this visit might contribute to strengthening the economic and trade ties between the state of Kuwait and the UK? And will this visit impact the flow of investment between the two countries and perhaps increase the opportunities?
I think it will increase the opportunities of if you like, of economic investments, and also it will help us in Kuwait, of course, to use the British experience in new businesses, for example, information industries, and also, let's say, cybersecurity is another maybe another issue that we can, of course, use British experience as such. In strengthening our, if you like, national cybersecurity. In addition to this, of course, Britain have always been one of the great economic and business partners of Kuwait, and I think we will witness also in the meeting the signing of different economic and business agreements between the two countries, and maybe hopefully with opening up the British economy to more Kuwaiti investments. So hopefully we in Kuwait will use and also benefit from this concept of global Britain, because Britain is opening up economically, is opening up politically. It's basically trying to strengthen its maritime trade, and Britain has always been one of the most important maritime, if you like, powers in the region, in the Middle Eastern region. And I think with time we will witness greater developments in our economy because of our cooperation with this great country, the United Kingdom.
Yes, Dr. Khalid, being very optimistic about the future cooperation between the two countries. Now we will take a short break and we will be right back. Stay with us.
The visit of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mishal Al-Ahmed Al-Jabr Al-Sabah, may Allah bless and protect him, to Scotland, in response to the personal invitation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, represents an important stage in the journey of strong bilateral relations extending for more than 125 years. This visit reflects the strength of partnership and close friendship between the two ruling families and their two friendly peoples, as well as the strength of mutual relations between them. The relations, which have steadily developed over the past decades, were formalized with the signing of several agreements, beginning with the Treaty of January 1899, which marked the official start of diplomatic relations between the two nations. In 2012, the Kuwaiti-British Joint Steering Group was formed, holding biannual meetings to strengthen bilateral relations and implement agreed-upon initiatives. Other key areas of cooperation include economic, trade, cultural, educational partnerships, energy transition, climate change, food security, and healthcare. To commemorate their enduring ties, the two nations declared 2024 the year of the Kuwaiti-British partnership based on an agreement signed on August 29th of 2023 during the visit of His Highness Sheikh Mishal Al-Ahmed Al-Jabr Al-Sabah to the UK. Through mutual visits and periodic meetings, both nations aim to establish numerous strategic dialogues, map out a brighter future for their partnership, and fulfill their ambitious shared vision to advance the interests of their peoples and countries.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, to our live coverage. Dr. Khalid, as we were discussing during the break, what's the strategic importance of this visit at this time, especially with the different developments that we are witnessing happening whether in the region or all around the world?
Well, I think it's really very important. This visit is very important if read within the context of a changing Middle East. In other words, what we witness today is really a very unpredictable region, a region that suffered so much from the conflicts in Palestine and Israel, the conflict between Israel and Iran, and what's going on in, say, in certain parts of Iraq, and also what is happening in Turkey. All these upheavals, if you like, require us in Kuwait, of course, to re-establish and to strengthen our alliance with the United Kingdom and also with the United States, because we need the, if you like, the military cooperation and hopefully help in maintaining our national security. In other words, the presence of the United Kingdom in Iraq and also in Syria and also in Jordan and certain parts of the Middle East will always guarantee the security of Kuwait and the security of the rest of the Gulf region. So I think adhering to our commitments or to our relations with the United Kingdom is another guarantee for our national security. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, the issue of cybersecurity continues to represent really a very significant and very, if you like, dangerous threat to the security of countries, especially in the region, because the nature of the global economy is changing and it's becoming more like an information economy based on, if you like, on the internet, if you like, basically. Yes. And that cybersecurity represents one of the, if you like, ongoing challenges that face developing economies in the Gulf region in particular. And in Kuwait, for example, we will be always challenged by how we maintain our cybersecurity. And unless we strengthen our cybersecurity cooperation with the United Kingdom, I think, and that would be a challenge. So maybe one of the issues in the meeting will be the issue of cybersecurity and strengthening cybersecurity issues, or if you like, safety in Kuwait. In addition to this, of course, the United Kingdom has always been one of our trustworthy allies, in addition, of course, to the United States. But historically, when you look at this historical relation that spanned more than a century, as you mentioned earlier, 125
Right.
years, I think we need to take into account why is this relationship is very unique. It's a relationship between two countries based on mutual respect, on historical cooperation, on economic cooperation, and on so many issues throughout history.
Yes, Dr. Khalid, as we mentioned, this year we have surpassed 125 years of anniversary of the Kuwaiti-British relationship, on the diplomatic relations also between the two countries. How do you view the significance of this long-standing relationship in today's context?
Well, I think it's really a very important relationship, as you mentioned, that spanned more than 125 years. And historically, I think we can actually trace this relationship more than 125 years, because the British involvement in the Middle East, and especially in our region, started since the 17th century, and even with the beginning of the establishment of Kuwait as a country. So, however, the former relations were established or formalized with the 1899 agreement and other security agreements between the Kuwaiti leadership back then and the British government at that time. So I think the uniqueness of this relationship is celebrated not in its span of more than 125 years, but I think in the uniqueness of the relationship on the mutual or deep mutual respect between Kuwait and the United Kingdom, and the trust of both governments that they are working for the, if you like, common concerns. They cooperate on different issues, and the United Kingdom considers Kuwait as one of its most important strategic partners in the region. So we should always remember that the United Kingdom really has a very unique, significant relation with Kuwait, in particular historically, and also socially, if you like, and culturally, and even our education. Our education is similar to certain aspects of British education. We have strong ties culturally. We have also so many, if you like, areas that we have cooperated with the United Kingdom, that it's basically just a very unique relationship. And I think the visit of His Highness to the United Kingdom will contribute in strengthening this relationship for the best, if you like, for both countries, for the benefits of both countries, because the United Kingdom needs to reinvest, if you like, in its relation with the region, in the region, because of what is happening, what happened recently in Syria with the withdrawal of the Russians, and also the ongoing conflict between the United States and China. So within all those changing, if you like, contexts, the United Kingdom goes back to the roots, goes back to its rooted and strong relations with the Gulf region, especially in Kuwait, to re-establish those relations, to strengthen those relations, and basically to strengthen its, if you like, global position in the world.
Yes, Dr. Khalid, you talked about the significance of the relationship between the two countries. Now, in your own opinion, what do you think are the potential long-term significance or implications of the state visit for bilateral relations between the state of Kuwait and the UK? If we can elaborate a little bit more on that.
Indeed. I think the visit will also have greater impacts on our relations in Kuwait with the rest of the countries in the Middle East. In other words, it will strengthen our strategic position in the region, in the Middle Eastern region. it will also underline how Kuwait can play an important role in reshaping, if you like, regional relations. In other words, currently certain parts of the Middle East are unpredictable, especially within the context of the ongoing conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis. But I think Kuwait will play an important role in solving similar issues, of course with the cooperation of the United Kingdom. And the United Kingdom will always consider Kuwait as its trustworthy and reliable, if you like, security partner in the region.
Dr. Khalid, before we go into a break, what are your expectations, from the state visit and from the meeting between His Highness the Emir and His Majesty King Charles III?
I think we will, one of the most important, if you like, impacts of such a visit is the signing of economic agreements between Kuwait and the United Kingdom, and also the facilitating of diplomatic relations. In other words, in regards to the requirements of visas by Kuwaitis to visit the United Kingdom, maybe the facilitation or the easing, if you like, the facilitation of if you like, administrative issues between the two countries, maybe the establishment of new channels of communication with Kuwait, and also, of course, we will also witness new investments, new Kuwaiti investments in the United Kingdom, and also maybe the establishment of, if you like, new centers of research, maybe between the two countries, the opening up of our economy to the British economy, because the British economy today represents one of the competitive, if you like, economic environments, especially after Brexit, and so Britain basically needs to have more economic and more commercial, if you like, partners in the region, and Kuwait will always be one of the candidates for such opening of the British economy to the world.
Yes. Dr. Khalid, we're going to take a short break, and we will continue with our coverage right after this. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This brings us to the end of our live coverage for tonight. Before we go, we would like to thank our special guest tonight, Dr. Khalid Al-Jamfawi. It's been a great honor to have you with us, and thank you for your time and your valuable insight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
As we conclude our special coverage of His Highness the Emir's visit to the United Kingdom, we look forward to the outcomes of this historic event and its positive impact on the state of Kuwait and the Kuwaiti-British relations and the region. Stay tuned for more updates and analysis as we continue to monitor the developments of this historical visit. Thank you very much for being with us, and have a good night.